What's up? Today we've got an oil leak situation going on with our F-250 Yamaha. If you look up in here, you'll see oil residue going all down here. That's because up in here is an oil pump, and there's some oil seals that are leaking on that oil pump. It's a pretty common situation, but the telltale is all the oil pouring down from there. So let me see if I can get this thing started and see how bad the leak is. Then we're going to pull the power head and change out that oil pump.
It's not too terrible at idle, but a leak's a leak. So let's pull this power head and show you what's going on up in here.
Now that we got all the chaps and everything off, we're going to go ahead and work on pulling this power head in order to get to the oil pump, which is underneath there. But before de-rigging and everything and pulling your battery cables whenever you power heads, one thing that you want to make sure you got is that the engine is completely vertically up and down. That way the drive shaft on the lower unit is sticking straight up, so when you go to put this thing back together, the power head will sit down level. What I like to do is I like to hit them with something long, get these bolts to crack free, and then once you get them to break free, then we can come back and hit them with an impact. These bolts back here are always a pain. These are your pain bolts. You got 3 of them, 1, 2, 3. And these ones always give you trouble because you got to get back in there. This is not the right wrench you want to use. You want to use a long, flat one, but those are your only trouble ones. All right, we just got her popped free. We need to run around it, do a double check, make sure there's nothing attached still. Everything's up, nothing's gonna get caught. Give her another little tap. Do another little look-see. Good, we're good. All right, now that we got our power head off, you can see here's our oil pump. That's what we got to replace, that right there. And do a little inspection in here, see what we got going on. Unfortunately, this little thing broke off with the hose. This little nipple shoots out right there. So I'll have to replace that housing, but it's the least of our concerns right now. Now, something else to look at when you're doing stuff like this is we need to look at the bottom of the crankshaft here. And you can see, it's kind of hard to, but see all those grooves? It's starting to get pretty rigid. You want to put a speedy sleeve on there. So this is going to go onto there. Give us a little tool to tap it on there with. And what I like to do is take a little bit of emery cloth. We're going to clean this up a little bit, and then we'll take a little bit of Loctite, put some Loctite on there just to kind of help it get up there, and then we'll tap this on there, put our oil pump on, and then we'll put this thing back on here. You also want to make sure that these lines right here line up, because that's where your oil pump's going to go. So you want to make sure that this little ridge there lines up on both sides so the oil pump will pop up properly. Our oil pump here. That's everything we need except for these O-rings. Got to get these O-rings. That's all good. Got both those seals in there. Bolt this biscuit up. Our O-rings. Up. There you go. Looking good. I didn't smash nothing? Nope. Okay, looking good. Looking good. That's looking good. That's looking good. That's looking good. 375 left to be golden. You gotta stay on that. What happened? There's no stopping. Just like, yeah, I see Jay with the work. That one there is our treat bolt. But it's really not that bad as long as you've got a swivel socket. You could just take this, stick it on the swivel, and then carefully guide it down. And stick it in there. And there you go. Easy peasy. Sure, a lot of people are pretty aware of these, but you want to be careful pulling these aprons and make sure that you don't drop this right here. It slides in there and it always falls out. So the best way to keep them in there like this one, just cake them up with some grease and slide them in there, and that'll hold it in there when you put it back on the engine. Top it off with oil and make sure we got our oil level right. Oh yeah, right there in the middle. Perfect. Me personally, I still like to check the oil pressure just to make sure. You never know, you put a new oil pump on, it could be bad out the box, and it's a risk I'm not really willing to take. Looks like the speedy sleeve and the oil pump fix our problem. Now we just need to put the boat in the water, take it out, make sure everything's good, that we didn't miss anything, pull the power head, and we should be good to go. Make sure she ain't leaking oil after the test run, and she's not looking good.